At a castle in the mountains of Hungary. Her family sent her here to learn courtly manners, the skills a young woman needs to marry well and serve a noble household. For a peasant family, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. The castle is beautiful. The Countess herself is gracious, well-spoken, from one of the most powerful families in all of Europe. Everything looks exactly as it should. She walks through the gates, the doors close behind her, and she never walks out again. Her name is lost to history. She's one of hundreds, maybe more. Nobody kept count of the peasant girls who disappeared into that castle. The woman who owned that castle would become known as the most prolific female serial killer in recorded history. Her name was Elizabeth Báthory, and this story is worse than any horror movie, because every detail comes from the testimony of people who were actually there. Before we enter that castle, drop a comment with your city and country, because once you see what the Blood Countess did behind those walls, you'll understand why they sealed her alive inside her own castle. Elizabeth Báthory was not born into the kind of family that produces monsters. She was born into the kind of family that produces kings. Her uncle was the King of Poland. Her cousin was the Prince of Transylvania. Cardinals, knights, judges, military commanders. The Báthory name was stamped across the power structure of Eastern Europe for generations. This wasn't just a noble family. This was the family, the one everyone else bowed to. But the family has a darker side. Relatives with reputations for cruelty, for instability, for the kind of behavior that other nobles whispered about behind closed doors. Elizabeth had an aunt named Carla, who, according to some accounts, enjoyed tormenting servants the way other women enjoyed embroidery. And some say Carla was the one who first showed young Elizabeth that hurting people wasn't just acceptable in their world. It was entertainment. At 15, Elizabeth was married off to a man named Ferenc Nadasdy. Political match. Two powerful families merging their bloodlines. Nadasdy was a soldier, a warrior, the kind of man who earned his nickname on the battlefield. They called him the Black Hungarian because of what he did to the Ottoman Turks. Something darker, something that crossed the line from correcting a servant into enjoying their suffering. But Nadasdy was almost never home. The Ottoman wars kept him on the frontier for months, sometimes years. And while he was gone, Elizabeth was alone, running the castle, commanding the servants, answering to absolutely no one. The first reports start during these years. Beatings that go too far, punishments that don't match the offense, girls who arrive at the castle healthy and leave broken, or don't leave at all. But nobody investigates, because she's a Báthory, and Báthory's answer to no one. Then in 1604, Nadasdy dies. Battle wound gone bad, or a prostitute's revenge, depending on who you believe. Either way, the Black Hungarian is gone, and whatever thin leash might have existed on Elizabeth's behavior snaps completely. She's in her 40s now, a wealthy widow, vast estate.